What's up, friends? Hey, it's Ryan from Studio Sherpas, and I'm coming at you with another YouTube video. I want you to know that I stole something. Yes, it's true. Once a month, I do a live question and answer with a group called the Video Business Academy. They can ask whatever questions that they have for me. And this question keeps coming up month after month because people keep hearing about the success that we've had with our course creator partners. So I want to pull the curtain back and give you some insights on how we've had success partnering with course creators and selling digital content where we have a recurring revenue model, a shared revenue model with these course creators, and want you to get an idea of how we've got that set up for us so that maybe it could inspire you to do the same thing for your video business. Okay, let's jump into Adam's question. Adam says, hey, Ryan, I know you talked about revenue sharing with course creators. This is something that I haven't done yet, but may have an opportunity to do in the near future. I'm wondering how you approach this relationship initially to make sure there's a good chance of it succeeding. What do you look for in people yelling upstairs? What do you look for in content creator partner? Sorry if this is something you've addressed before and I missed it. Adam, guess what? It's okay. I have addressed this in the past, but I'm happy to this time. This time is your time. This time is my time from California. Okay. If you haven't unsubscribed from emails at Nathan, then maybe it's time to. Just kidding. Okay. So we've gone through, we currently have technically four course creator partners, and every course creator partner, we refine our process. We're able to look at what is working and what doesn't work. Nathan. So I think what we're doing now is better than what we were doing before. With Susan, this is how our whole course creation journey started with partnering for revenue share. Because prior to this, with Studio Sherpas, I offer courses and training, and that's stuff that people can purchase. And we've dabbled in Facebook ads and email automation and campaigns and all that stuff. So, I have some know-how. And Kajabi, super easy to build websites and do all that stuff. So I've got, all this confidence. This woman, Susan, comes to us and says, Ryan, and we know her from the wedding industry. She says, Ryan, I want to stop traveling so much, and I want to start charging for these tutorials. I want to make some tutorials and put them online and have people buy them. I say, great. And then I know Susan, and I know that she's not a marketer. Although she's incredibly gifted at what she does, and she has a huge following. And so I just started thinking, I'm like, man, she's got like 50,000. I think at the time she had 50,000 Instagram followers and 15 or 20,000 Facebook followers, something like that. So it was a ton. And like Studio Sherpas, we didn't have anything close to that. I think still today we have barely 1,000 Instagram followers, 300 YouTube subscribers. But here's the thing. It's you don't need a massive audience to make an impact. You don't need a massive audience to make a lot of money. That's the riches are in the niches. So I'm a firm believer in that. So when she brought this opportunity, I said, yeah, we can totally shoot and edit these tutorials for you, but what are you going to do with them after we do that? She's like, well, I'll put them on a website and I'll sell them. I'm like, I know, no, but where and how are you going to do it? And she's like, I haven't really thought that far. I said, okay, well, we've been doing this work over here. We've made money, and we're kind of figuring out how to do this. Would you like us to take this model and do it for you? Build out your website, help you build emails, just take care of all of the things, Facebook ads, manage your Facebook ads. And she said, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So it was an opportunity for her to focus on her craft, really for her to just think through the tutorials, for her to be in touch with her tribe that she already has and let them know, hey, I've got training coming out and I'm working with a team and they're doing this stuff and we're going to launch this stuff, guided by some things that we would say hey, you should reach out to your people and let them know that this is coming next week. And otherwise, she's just kind of posting on her own, and she's really good at that. So, I also had asked Susan, I said, hey, what would be the dream for you for us? How much stuff should we sell this year for it to be dream come true for you? And she said, if I made $50,000 this year, that would be unbelievable. And so the way the story goes, 3 years later, we're at like $740,000 in total sales with floral tutorials that are 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long. The items are $97. We bundle some together for $297. We have one big bundle for $997. 700 plus $1,000. And the revenue share agreement that we have with her is that we manage all of the things. It's actually our business. It's not a partnership. We treat her on paper as a client, and we have expectations. And the way that the payout works is at the end of each month, we tally all of the sales and we tally all of the expenses. So the expenses would be things like Facebook ads. So if we spent $5,000 in Facebook ads, then we take that from the bottom line. So if we sold in our average month is we sell about $20,000 to $25,000 in tutorials. And then our like ad spend is typically between $4,000 and $7,000 per month. So like that comes off. So if we sold $20,000, then and we did $4,000 in ads, then we have $16,000 left. And then we've got some other fees for the person who does our support and some softwares that we use. So at the end of the day, we're typically depositing in the Tell Studios account $8,000 to $10,000 goes directly to us, and then $8,000 to $10,000 goes to Susan, and that's money. That's profit, and that's after all expenses have been paid out. So since partnering with Susan, we've taken on a woman who is she's also in the wedding industry. She's a cake designer, and she's been on magazines and does all this stuff. Has a huge, I think she's got like 100,000 Instagram followers. We launched like a series of like live webinars that people could purchase, and it was a really easy way for us to get started with Heather. and then we also partnered with actually a friend of mine. He's been very successful in the health care industry, and he's been doing these live events. Long story short, this is the first one that we did where it did not make sense. We paid more money out of our pockets than we made because the event that he was planning on doing didn't happen. He kept telling me, "Oh yeah, people are going to sign up. I got somebody who's going to bring like." The goal was 25 people was going to be at this. We're going to be at this live event. And so that meant we were going to make about $15,000 just for doing the event. And then we were going to take the product and create videos that we were going to be able to sell. And so we were going to make $15,000 at the event. Tell Studios that was going to be our take home. And then we were going to make $50,000, $100,000 plus $1,000 on selling the digital products. And that would have been amazing and very, very profitable for us. Because at the end of the day, for us, part of our costs were building out the website and writing emails. And so because we're in charge of all the marketing, those are not fees that that we share, right? So we could build the website ourselves, or I could hire somebody that can build the website faster and better than me. And that's what we opted to do, is just to hire somebody and pay them, knowing that we would see that money on the back end, except in this case. So we have since done a very small event with him and made $2,500. So we're probably about halfway there to making our money back on what we've invested in this project so far. But there's been a lot of frustration along the way. And what we've realized is that a better way, when you don't know what your potential course creator can do, they're probably going to be really excited. And if people are like me, you're going to just be like, oh yeah, that's, I got 20,000 Facebook friends. And I mean, if 1% of them bought this thing, we'd be rich. Okay, well, we've taken less of the risk up front. So now we're telling people it's going to cost, if you have no list, or maybe a really small list, and or if we're not really sure if this concept will work, or if there's just any red flags, we're like, I just don't know. Then what we're doing is we're just charging people up front for all of the build out. If we're going to film stuff, like here's what it will cost for us to film, or if we're going to build out the website and the emails and all of those things, then here's what those costs are. And those costs really are between $5,000 and $10,000. But if it's something that we really believe in, we'll take on some of the risk, which probably for us, the risk would be us filming and editing. So we probably, unless we get burned again in the future, we'll probably take on that risk of shooting and editing, and then just us hiring somebody to do the website or to do the branding and all of that stuff, knowing that it's going to really be paid by this course creator partner. Now, if we had somebody else like a Susan come to us with 50,000 Instagram followers and who is teaching all over the world and really just has influence, for us, it's a lot easier to say like, oh yeah, you don't pay us anything up front. We're in this with you. And we do have things in place in our contract that says if you back out before we launch, then you owe us money. It's like $5,000 at one point when we get the website and all that stuff done. And then once we do production and all that, if they back out right before we go live, then it's $10,000. So I'm not sure if we can even enforce that. We've thought about having them pay us that money up front and then just paying them back, letting them be the first ones that get paid. So for the projects where we're taking on the most risk, we're splitting the revenue 50-50. For the opportunities that will come along where we say like, we're not really sure, you don't have a big audience, but we can do all these things for you. And then if it works, great, we'll charge you $5,000 to $10,000 for that to happen. And then we'll only take 30% of the revenue. So that's how we've got that set up. I would love any follow-up questions on that. And Adam, I'm happy to bring you on the screen if you would like to come on the screen and ask in person. My question isn't related. Sorry. Okay, that's okay. Just hang on to your question. So just so you guys know, I am actually, I'm going to share it with you. You don't learn until you launch. We are launching I can't do two things at once. Course creator. Okay. Yep. This is the fun new thing that we're launching here. Application preview. How about that? Come on. Oh, there it is. Course creator agency. So the idea behind this is there are so many people that are like, oh my gosh, like this. I mean, I've heard from countless people that are like, I've got somebody who, they're interested in doing a course. So the course creator agency is going to be, here is our workflow from start to finish. Here is the contract that we use. Here are multiple versions of the contract for total revenue share, for people that you're not doing revenue share at all, but you're just going to create and like build all of this stuff out for them, expectations, timeline suggestions, all of the things that we are using, and then different approaches, like ways that you can launch the smartest, quickest way where it's not going to take a ton of time and money. And what we've realized is, through different iterations of this, the model with Ben, where we were going to actually film the event and make money at the event and then turn that stuff into digital products, that would have been like super easy for us because we can film events with our eyes closed, and then to just turn that into a digital thing and build out the website for that, super easy for us. Has not worked out how we had hoped, but I definitely see that model as something moving forward. Also, when we start looking at live streaming, which we're taking a very serious look at doing live streaming stuff. I just think that events aren't going to look like they have for a long time, for 6 months, for a year. So for us to be able to host at our studio, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, 10 people or less in our studio, and to film their conference, whoever the main people are, and then if we're zooming in other speakers, but then for us, like, that's phase one, and then phase two is for us to take all that stuff, rebadge it, upload it to Kajabi, and create that as another opportunity for revenue. That's kind of like where my mind is going. We hosted a virtual summit a couple of weeks ago as Tell Studios, called Digital Marketing with Soul. And it was a free event. We had 16 presenters over the course of 2 days. And people were like, I can't believe that you didn't charge for this event. So there's an opportunity for us to charge up front for people to attend a live event. And then also on the back end to monetize it later because the content is really good, or to create a membership and to have constant new material added to that. So the wheels are spinning, and as I'm coming up with new ideas and we're doing different things, we're going to kind of build all of that into the Course Creator Agency, and just encourage you guys to be doing the same thing, because having Susan, I've said this before, you guys have probably heard me say this before, excuse me, having Susan, if I was the only employee, like, let's just say worst case scenario happens, I have to lay off all of my employees, and I'm the only one, at Tell Studios, I will, if I just paid my ads person and I didn't do anything else, I would be making easily between $5,000 and $10,000 a month. And I mean, I can show you what our take home is from Susan's course stuff. $5,000 to $10,000 per month just to pay. I'm paying an ads person. I'm paying Susan 5 to 10, like she's making $5,000 to $10,000 per month. And this is without us creating like any new courses. This is just on stuff that we already have made that's selling. That's like the start of a great business. That's the start of a great income, because now I have a ton more time to take on another course creator or to come up with a new idea. So this model probably doesn't work for everybody. There are probably some people who are like, I don't want to touch ads. I don't want to touch websites, and that's fine. And at the beginning, I wanted to know it all, right? I mean, the reason why I started, not the reason why, but one of the things I've loved about having Studio Sherpas and then Susan stuff and Tell Studio is I've gotten to learn so many different things about digital marketing. And I love it. And I love having to try to figure out, oh, we got to pivot. Like, that's not working anymore. Let's try this thing. I love that. But what I've also loved is saying, like, okay, I've done enough writing of emails for Susan's campaigns. I'm going to just hire somebody to write emails for Susan's campaigns. And, like when you started your video business, like you kind of had to learn all of the things. You had to learn how to edit. You had to learn how to shoot. You had to learn how to light. You had to learn how to do, put microphones on people. You had to learn all those things. You had to learn how to ingest footage. You had to learn how to export stuff. But then you could get to a point in your business where you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like that, it just takes so much of my time. So then you can teach somebody else to do that. And it's nice to know what it takes, because then it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it takes me like 2 hours to edit that video. Why is it taking this guy 16 hours? Like, that doesn't make sense. And you get a feel for how much you should be paying for stuff and how much you should be charging. And that's kind of the same thing in this world of digital marketing, where I've dabbled in like lots of different parts. So for me to say like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost me $1,000 to have somebody figure out the copy for that web page, like, let's do it. It's done. It's going to be better than what I'm going to do. It's going to get done quicker. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling right now, but curious to know, just from we've only got like 6 people here, who is thinking about doing something similar to course creation partnership stuff. Adam asks, are you actively seeking out other course creation partners? Do you feel like it's worth it, or do you only pursue it when it comes up? Moving forward, especially like with the new normal, getting tired of saying that. It's going to become one of our main pushes. So I taught you guys last month about here's how I'm doing reach outs on LinkedIn. And so for the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, we've been really, really focused on people in public relations and that niche for us to find some other agencies that we can connect to. And that will continue to be a niche of ours because it's working, and we're continuing to get opportunities. Because like right now, people in PR, like they need help. Their clients need help. But the number two, and we haven't started reaching out to these people, will be on LinkedIn, and we'll be reaching out to courses. Nope, we won't be reaching out to courses because courses aren't living and breathing. Course creators and business coaches and people in that space. I know there's a bazillion of them on LinkedIn. They're everywhere. But that is definitely going to be one of the our targets, especially knowing what we know now. Because when we first started this, I was like, man, it just seems like a huge risk for us, unless Susan is I think she might be a unicorn. We've had so much good fortune with her, but for us to now say like, hey, it's going to cost you this much to engage with us, and this is what you're going to get. And then if it's super successful, then we're going to make some more money, but you're going to make the majority of that money. That model to me makes a lot of sense. And I think it's going to make a lot of sense. A lot of people, I've gotten a lot of pushback from people who aren't in the digital space, but want to get into it. And they're like, wow, 50%. I'm like, proof's in the pudding. I mean, like, Susan's been with us for 3 years, and she can back out whenever she wants, but it's working for her. And I've had other people that are just like, no way, the 50% is too much. I'm like, okay, fine. Sorry. When we first started working with Susan, I will say that the agreement was 30-70. So we were getting 30%. But then after, I think it was not even a year, I went back to her and I was like, Susan, we smashed this, and we're not even like all in here. This is like a tenth of all of the other projects and things that we're working on. I said we could dive in even more and crush it, but in order to do that, I would love to just split 50-50, and then we've got more buy-in, so we're going to push harder. And she was like, yep, let's do that. So if you're hesitant to start at 50%, start at 30. I mean, I wouldn't do anything less than 30% if you're providing all these other things. But also don't take on the bulk of the risk if you're only at 30%. Larry says, you feel like 50-50 split is better, lower risk than them paying the $15K production cost up front. I think it comes down to like, who is it? What kind of following do they have? Like, are you excited about, like, the guy in healthcare? Like, he's a great guy, but like who he's what he's even talking about when he's talking, I'm like, I have no idea. Susan, I don't know anything about flowers, but I can watch her stuff and be like, oh, this is like, it's artful, it's creative. She's super sweet. Her people love her. She's not salesy. She's not shady. She's, if anything, like, I'm trying to get her to be more salesy. So that in Heather is actually more business minded than Susan is, or at least not afraid to like be a little bit more salesy. And not like, but like just really to own like, hey, this can help you if whatever, I'm rambling. So yeah, Larry, yeah, I think it just depends. I would say now, knowing what I know, I would love to, for this guy in healthcare, I would have loved to just say like, we'll just take 30%, but you're going to pay us $10,000, and we'll do all of the things, and we'll just take 30, because 30%, I mean, 30, like, think through Susan's stuff. She's at $700,000 over the last 3 years. So let's just divide that up and say $250,000 in year one. Let's say that's how much we made. I think that's a little high for what we made in the first year, but $250,000, 30%. And let's say we spent $50,000 in ads. So it was $200,000. So 30% of $200,000 is like $67,000. $67,000 for, we had to film for like 3 days, and we had to edit, but it's like super, it's 2 or 3 cameras, it's cutting. Production costs for us were probably like $5,000. So 5,000 minus 67 is $62,000. $62,000 for doing nothing. I mean, not doing nothing, but yeah, sign me up all day long. I'll take 3 of those clients. If I had 3 of those clients, I'll be rich. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying here. I was approached by someone that was talking about this, though. They hadn't brought up a partnership. I was thinking of proposing it, though. For sure, propose it. And just like, take on some risk. Like, give them something so that they feel like, oh, okay, yeah, if you're going to, have some buy-in here, then there's a better chance that this will go further. And then also knowing that, as the video creator, like, you can help them create ads, and you can help them create lead magnets, and you can help them create behind the scenes, walkthroughs, and like all of the things that will help people understand what the product is better, to help them get more buy-in. Like, that's the power that we possess. Like, that's our main superpower, that plus the the actual filming of the tutorials themselves. So like, our role is pretty key in that whole process. What is this? Betterop.io. It's not really course creation. It's tutorial for a specific app platform for pre and post surgery. That's cool. I won't click on the link. I don't. It's probably spam. Nathan, you're probably mad because I send you all those emails. Okay. Oh, you made it. Oh, the video. All right, let's see. Larry, just my kids screaming up there. It'll be fine, you guys. Larry says, do your course creators do regular free content on their own to serve in a drip campaign or additional lead magnets to their paid course? Graham Cochran and Donald Miller suggests doing tons of regular free content versus doing ads. Yeah, I mean, our next move is to have Susan create content for YouTube. I mean, it's just like, her people are there. She's showing how to make upscale boutonniere or corsage. That's like searchable text on YouTube. People are searching that. So we're going to create a strategy for her to do that. Ads is just a quick win for us, because her people are on Instagram, her people are on Facebook, and she already had like a huge following. So it was really easy and super cost effective. I mean, her emails, like the stuff that we send out, her people really want to hear from her. She has like a amazing open rate of her emails and a super high click-through rate. So, whenever we're creating stuff, her people are like just waiting for her to release stuff. So yeah, the idea is that, and we encourage and coach people along, that you need to be coming up with new ideas, new things, new product ideas. Like, for Susan, she does what she calls floral recipes. We're like, let's come up with some more floral recipes that we can just put online. People can download the PDFs for free in exchange for their email address. And then once they do that, then they get into our email funnel where we say, hey, hope you're enjoying the free recipe that you downloaded. By the way, did you know that I have this course where you can apply that recipe and even more? So, that's just a great. And then we have another campaign where we have $1,000 product that we're pitching to cold audience, and people are buying $1,000 product. They're spending $1,000 without being on Susan's list, being in her Facebook likers or anything like that. So, there's lots of different strategies. The most important thing to do is just pick one, start doing it, do it for a while, and then like, okay, like, let's add in another thing. Kind of like YouTube. We've known for a while that we should do YouTube, but we're finally in a rhythm where now it's like, okay, like, let's actually visit that and make a plan for what that can look like. So yeah, always be making free content. And that goes for you, video guys and gals. You need to be making free content for your people to engage. The next piece that Tell Studios is creating, I am going to create a piece for people that are interested in having a course. I'm going to create because our niche, like another one of our niches, is going to be people in that market space, place in the market. I don't know, however you say that. So that will be a lead magnet that we create as like, a checklist, or, consider these things as you're getting ready to build your own course. But I think the next lead magnet that we're going to create for Tell Studios is, hey, here's our storytelling process. This comes from the $2,500 workshop that people pay for. And we're like, you know what? Like, people are paying $2,500 to do this workshop, but I bet you we could get more people on our list if we just said, hey, if you like our videos, they're all made through the lens of this storytelling format. So if you want that format, maybe you're working with a video producer already, or you're just thinking about, the next step for this video idea that you have, use our format. Well, guess what? If they use our format and they like it, and then they're on our email list now, and we're sending out a couple of other emails related to how we've helped other people in their similar spot, they're more likely to hire us to do the workshop for them, or to have us do the production for them. Way more likely than us not putting out any content and just hoping that they randomly find us and call us, or that, somehow through our LinkedIn reach out, we connect with them, and they put two and two together, realizing that, oh, we should hire these guys because they do good stuff. But for us to just say, like, here's our process, this is exactly what we'll take you through. It's like, we're not giving away the farm, because they still have to have a guide, right? This PDF, this lead magnet, will serve as a guide. But I don't know if you've ever been in like marriage therapy, or if you've had a business coach. It's one thing to like know what you're supposed to do. Oh, I read this book, and like, Orion says to do these things. It's a total other thing when you're talking directly to a person and they're giving you immediate feedback, and then also they're an expert. They've heard this same thing 100 times. So it's not new to them. And the strategies that they're going to give you are strategies that have worked for other people. So smart businesses know this. So while we might catch their eye with like, hey, here's our storytelling process, and they see the process and they're like, this is a good process, let's hire those guys, because we still don't have the time or the energy to like figure this out on our own. And there would be plenty of companies that do that on their own, and that's great, and they'll be happy that they got that free content from you. But there's just going to be a way higher percentage of people that are going to reach out to us to do a job for them, because we gave that to them, because they were able to understand our process better, because they were really able to figure out, like, do we like these guys? Do we like their approach? That, the content that they've been sending us since we signed up for this thing, it's good, or it's not, and we don't like them and we don't want to hire them. That's great too, because I don't want them to call me and waste my time. I'd rather them download our free thing, get a taste of, who we are and what we care about, and then for them to figure out if it's worth reaching out. And if it's not, cool. You just saved me 15, 20 minutes on a phone call, or on another Zoom call that I definitely did not need. Hey, thanks for watching this video. And if the course creator revenue share model is of interest to you and you want more information, then I want you to go to coursecreatoragency.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next video.